Why reading is so important. Alex often felt a heavy silence, a wall between himself and the vibrant world of English speakers. His aspirations to travel and connect were stifled by his hesitant words. He knew why reading is so important, but actual practice felt daunting, a mountain too high to climb alone. The language seemed a beautiful, distant melody he couldn't quite hum. Every attempt to speak felt like pulling teeth, full of awkward pauses and forgotten vocabulary. He'd open his mouth, a brilliant thought forming, only for it to crumble into jumbled sounds. The frustration mounted daily, making him question if he could truly master this elusive skill. He longed for a breakthrough, a clear way of learning English that actually worked. One evening, browsing online, he stumbled upon an article that sparked an idea. It wasn't about quick fixes but consistent daily effort. It emphasized that learning was a journey, not a sprint, and small, manageable steps could lead to significant progress. This concept resonated deeply, offering a fresh perspective on his long-standing challenge. The article strongly advocated for reading. It explained why reading is so important, stating it builds vocabulary, improves grammar subconsciously, and exposes learners to natural language patterns. Alex realized his past reading attempts were sporadic. This time he decided to commit seriously, viewing books not as chores but as stepping stones to fluency. His first tangible step was remarkably simple. Talk in English just 1 page per day. He picked a novel he loved in his native tongue and found its English translation. The goal was to read just 1 page, slowly absorbing every word, looking up unfamiliar terms. This small, consistent habit felt incredibly achievable and less overwhelming. Within weeks, Alex noticed subtle changes. Words that once seemed foreign began to feel familiar. His comprehension improved, and the flow of English sentences became more intuitive. Reading daily wasn't a chore. It became a quiet, enjoyable part of his routine, expanding his mental dictionary effortlessly. He was slowly but surely starting to learn English. The article also highlighted learn English through stories. Alex started exploring short stories and graded readers designed for learners. The engaging plots made the process less like studying and more like entertainment. He found himself eagerly anticipating the next chapter, absorbing language without even consciously trying. Learning through narratives proved surprisingly effective. The characters, settings, and plots provided context for new words and phrases, making them easier to remember. Stories transported him, transforming dry vocabulary lists into vibrant experiences. This method ignited a passion for the language he hadn't felt before, making learning enjoyable. While reading was invaluable, Alex knew true fluency required speaking. He felt that familiar pang of anxiety when thinking about oral communication. Reading provided the input, but he needed output. He understood that to genuinely learn English, he had to push past his discomfort and start using the language actively. The idea of how to talk to anyone in English seemed terrifying. What if he made mistakes? What if he couldn't understand? These questions plagued him, holding him back. He knew logically that mistakes were part of the process, but emotionally, the fear of embarrassment was a powerful deterrent to active speaking. The next piece of advice was to begin with low-stakes conversations. How to talk to people in pairs was suggested as a safe, supportive environment. He found an online language exchange partner, Sarah, who was also learning his native language. Their initial conversations were hesitant, filled with pauses, but they persevered. Talking with Sarah was liberating. The pressure was significantly reduced. They corrected each other gently, laughed at mistakes, and encouraged every effort. This consistent, judgment-free practice built his confidence incrementally. He realized that even small exchanges were powerful steps towards greater fluency and comfort. As his comfort grew in one-on-one settings, Alex felt a renewed courage. The barrier to how to talk to anyone in English began to shrink. He started engaging in short conversations with shopkeepers, asking for directions, and making small talk with strangers. Each brief interaction was a victory, boosting his morale. He also began to consciously apply "let me tell you" talking tips. Instead of focusing on perfect grammar, he prioritized clear communication. He learned to ask clarifying questions when he didn't understand, and to rephrase his thoughts simply. Active listening became as important as speaking. One crucial tip was to embrace imperfection. Don't wait for perfection to speak. Speak to achieve perfection. This mindset shift was monumental. He stopped self-editing every sentence before it left his mouth, allowing for a more natural, fluid conversation. Mistakes were no longer failures but essential learning opportunities. Alex incorporated daily speaking practice, even if it was just talking to himself in English for a few minutes, describing his day, narrating mundane tasks, or summarizing an article aloud. This internal monologue in English strengthened his ability to form sentences spontaneously and access vocabulary quickly. It was a private, effective way of learning English. While reading helped with passive vocabulary, active vocabulary required more effort. He started using new words he encountered in his daily conversations or internal monologues. This active recall solidified his learning, moving words from recognition to immediate use. It was a conscious effort to broaden his expressive range. He also immersed himself in English audio. Podcasts, movies, and music became constant companions. Understanding natural spoken English with its nuances and speed was crucial. His comprehension soared, making conversations less strenuous and more enjoyable. Listening provided context for pronunciation and intonation patterns. The overarching theme in his journey was consistency. The way of learning English wasn't about heroic efforts once a week, but small persistent steps every single day. The one-page-per-day philosophy extended to speaking and listening, creating a powerful, compounding effect over time. There were days when progress felt slow or non-existent. Plateaus were inevitable. During these times, Alex reminded himself of how far he had come. He'd revisit simpler texts, engage in familiar conversations, or just take a short break. Persistence, not perfection, was the ultimate goal. Alex realized that the best way to learn English was not a singular method, but a harmonious blend of several. It was about reading consistently, speaking frequently, listening actively, and learning through engaging content like stories. This holistic approach tackled all aspects of language acquisition. He applied various tips, breaking down complex ideas into simpler sentences, using gestures when words failed, and maintaining eye contact to show engagement. These small strategies made his conversations smoother and more effective, reducing anxiety during interactions. He was learning to perform. A profound joy emerged from truly understanding spoken English, not just individual words but the underlying meaning, humor, and emotion. This deepened his appreciation for the language and motivated him further. Every successful conversation was a testament to his persistent efforts and strategic learning. The fear that once gripped him when faced with an English conversation slowly transformed into excitement. He looked forward to opportunities to speak, to practice, to connect. This mental shift was perhaps the most significant indicator of his progress. He now embraced linguistic challenges. Learning English wasn't just about mastering a language. It was about personal growth. He became more confident, more open, and more resilient. The journey taught him patience, discipline, and the power of small, consistent actions. It truly transformed his outlook on learning any new skill. His newfound fluency opened up incredible opportunities. He could travel independently, understand international news directly, and even make friends from diverse cultural backgrounds. The world felt infinitely larger and more accessible. English became a bridge connecting him to global communities. Alex now enthusiastically shared his journey with others who struggled. He advocated for why reading is so important, recounting how it laid the foundational bricks for his fluency. His experience became a living testament to the power of daily dedication and smart learning strategies, inspiring many. He particularly stressed the talk in English just 1 page per day method. He explained how this seemingly tiny commitment accumulated into vast knowledge over months and years. It was the perfect entry point for anyone feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of material, making learning less intimidating. For speaking, he always recommended how to talk to people in pairs. He believed it was the safest and most effective stepping stone to public speaking. The low-pressure environment allowed learners to experiment with language, make mistakes, and build necessary confidence without fear of judgment. His own journey from shy learner to confidently engaging in how to talk to anyone in English served as a powerful example. He encouraged others to seek out every opportunity, no matter how brief, to use the language, knowing each interaction strengthened their abilities and dispelled fears. He reiterated that the way of learning English was multifaceted. It wasn't about memorizing rules, but about immersing oneself. Combining reading, listening, and speaking, along with strategic practice, created a robust learning ecosystem that naturally fostered fluency and deep comprehension over time. Crucially, he emphasized the importance of making learning enjoyable. Learn English through stories was his favorite example. When learning feels like play, consistency becomes effortless. He urged people to find what resonated with them, whether it was films, songs, or novels. Alex frequently shared "let me tell you" talking tips. These included active listening, asking open-ended questions, and using simple sentence structures initially. He taught people to paraphrase when unsure and to smile often. These practical strategies eased the anxiety of real-time communication significantly. He explained that fluency isn't a destination, but a continuous journey of improvement. Even now, he continues to read, listen, and seek out new conversational challenges. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to be effective and communicative, enjoying the ongoing process of language mastery. The transformation in Alex's life was profound. From a quiet observer, he became an active participant. His career prospects broadened, his social circle diversified, and his personal horizons expanded beyond anything he had imagined. English became more than a skill. It was a key to a new world. His 1 page a day commitment evolved. Sometimes it was more, sometimes less, but the habit of engaging with English text daily remained. It was a non-negotiable part of his routine, like brushing teeth, a quiet affirmation of his dedication to continued growth and linguistic refinement. He moved beyond passive consumption. He started writing short summaries of the stories he read, and even attempted to rewrite scenes in his own words. This active engagement with the material deepened his understanding and solidified his command of grammar and style. It was a powerful supplementary practice. Through persistent speaking, he began to grasp conversational nuances, idioms, and natural expressions that no textbook could fully teach. The subtle art of small talk, interjections, and empathetic responses became second nature, making his interactions more authentic and enjoyable. From simple conversations, he progressed to more complex discussions, even debates. He could articulate his opinions, defend his points, and understand opposing viewpoints, all in English. This level of communicative competence felt incredibly empowering, a testament to his diligent effort. Every mistake was a lesson. Instead of feeling defeated, he'd analyze what went wrong, look up the correct usage, and practice it immediately. This positive attitude towards errors accelerated his learning process. He viewed them as signposts on the road to fluency, not roadblocks. While he shared general tips, Alex always emphasized that the best way to learn English is ultimately personal. What worked for him might need adaptation for others. The core principles of consistency, immersion, and active practice were universal, but the specific tools could vary. He advised learners to find English content related to their passions. If you love cooking, read English recipes. If you love gaming, watch English streamers. This makes the learning process inherently motivating and ensures that the language acquisition is tied to genuine interest. Alex learned to celebrate every small victory, understanding a joke, successfully ordering food, or holding a 5-minute conversation without major hesitation. These mini celebrations fueled his motivation and reinforced the idea that every step, no matter how tiny, counted towards his goal. His journey was a living example of persistence paying off. There were no shortcuts, only consistent, deliberate practice. The ability to push through difficulties and maintain daily habits was arguably the most important lesson he learned on his path to fluency. English ceased being just a subject to study. It became a powerful tool. A tool for learning new things, connecting with diverse people, and expressing his authentic self. This shift in perspective made the language an enabler, not a barrier, in his daily life and aspirations. He always circled back to why reading is so important. It was the silent, steady engine that fueled his vocabulary growth and grammatical intuition. Without a strong reading foundation, he believed, effective speaking and listening would remain a perpetual struggle for many learners. The beauty of talk in English, just 1 page per day, was its simplicity. It removed excuses. Even on the busiest days, 1 page was manageable. This small, non-threatening task created an unbreakable chain of daily engagement, leading to remarkable progress over time. His initial success with how to talk to people in pairs encouraged him to join small English conversation groups, further expanding his comfort zone. The dynamics of group conversations provided new challenges and opportunities to practice active listening and turn-taking skills. Now, the concept of how to talk to anyone in English seemed natural. He understood that it was less about perfect grammar and more about genuine connection, clear communication, and a willingness to engage, irrespective of the other person's background or accent. His way of learning English had evolved into a sophisticated, personalized system. It was no longer haphazard but strategic, incorporating diverse inputs and outputs. He consistently sought new ways to challenge himself while maintaining the core principles of enjoyment and daily engagement. The magic of learn English through stories never faded. He continued to devour novels, finding that each narrative not only entertained but subtly broadened his linguistic horizons, teaching him new expressions and cultural nuances in an effortless manner. He recognized that let me tell you talking tips were applicable to everyone, regardless of their current level. Simple advice like don't be afraid to make mistakes or ask questions could transform a hesitant speaker into a confident communicator very quickly. The ultimate lesson was that fluency wasn't a gift, but a cultivated skill. It required dedication, smart strategies, and an unwavering belief in one's own ability to learn. Alex's journey proved that anyone, with the right approach, could master English. Today, Alex communicates globally with ease. His initial frustration is a distant memory, replaced by the joy of seamless interaction. English, once a formidable obstacle, became his most powerful tool for connection and understanding in a diverse world. His English learning adventure continues, now driven by curiosity and joy, not struggle. He encourages everyone to embark on their own journey, reminding them that every page read, every word spoken, and every story absorbed brings them closer to their linguistic dreams.